Today's Wednesday, June 8th, 2016, and you are tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. Got a great show for you today. Stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Get it all out. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Hey, it's great to be here this Wednesday morning, everybody, where, yes, we have got ourselves another show to put on for you. Last week was just not going to happen, unfortunately, but that's okay. Here we are this week, and got a busy June. How many of you out there have just a crazy busy, June? And I never realize it until Memorial Day hits, and it's like, oh my gosh, we've got the ESF cruise in Chicago coming up. We have Elevator U conference. Just so much stuff going on. Plus, it seems to be the time when people take vacations. This year was a little bit different for my family because my youngest, Quinn, graduated 8th grade, which had that ceremony on Tuesday. Almost got into a fight with a parent. I'm a pretty mild-mannered guy, but man, when you got like a mom and her son who is a junior in high school, like literally screwing around in front of you, I just couldn't take it anymore. I literally just leaned into both of them and said, you blank, 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 why don't you leave? It was basically like, you don't really want to be here, so why don't you get the F out of here? Yes, I did say that, if you can believe that. And as soon as I did, I'm like, oh my God, what did I just say? What did I just say? Well, the good news is that they stopped all of their nonsense, which was good. At the end of the graduation ceremony, I leaned into them again and I apologized. And the mom, who I don't know whether or not she was fit to be a mom, turned around and said, thank you. She said, I think that was uncalled for. And then the son said, I had it coming. Anyway, lesson learned, and try not to, get it to that point. However, I think if I would have been nice about it, I honestly believe it would have continued. The tomfoolery would have continued throughout. Anyway, so that was that. Hey, everybody who is in for the ESF cruise on land tonight, it is going to be a fun time. And for those of you asking, why are we not doing a cruise? There were quite a few of you that had requested a different venue. So the ESF Cruise Committee decided to hold it at an awesome restaurant, seafood restaurant on Navy Pier. And hopefully we'll have a great time. I'm sure we'll have a great time tonight. Weather's going to be nice, but we don't really have to worry about weather affecting that. So it's going to be great to see everybody. And I want to personally thank everybody who sponsored the event, everybody who is coming in for the event, everybody who has bought tickets to the event, because without your support, the ESF would not be where it is today. So thank you for that. Came in this morning to do the show, and as I started, I read the first article. I'm like, and it just seemed like every article got progressively worse and worse and worse as I said, like, oh man, this is not a feel-good show. I did post that in the blog note, but the reality is that there are some serious accidents on the program, and not all of them, actually many of them are not in the United States. Doesn't make it any better. but one did involve an elevator mechanic, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I think that's about it. I am looking forward to July coming because, as I said, June is just a busy month. And once I get through that last week in June, I think it'll be kind of nice to relax a little bit, even though there's so much going on at the ESF with the new program development that it's still going to be a whirlwind on up until Montreal, the United show. So yeah, it's just for a year that many of us enjoy because there's not that much traveling. You don't have to coordinate amongst like 3 or 4 different regional association groups, or national, I should say. It's still becoming a busy year. So, anyway, enough of my yapping. We're going to go to the news next, and we'll have you out of here in no time. Just as a reminder, go over to Facebook. That's where primarily the majority of show notes and stuff are being published, in addition to elevatorradioshow.com. Those are where the main links are at, but go over like the page, and we appreciate that. So up next, we'll get into the news. If I can find the button.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Oh, okay, just as a reminder, and I apologize for some of the technical difficulties. We had an update over last week, and also did some video editing on another program. It totally screwed up all the settings. So literally when I did my test run this morning just with the settings, I was like, nothing's working. And so the reality is it took me a little bit longer to get the program in line. So I'm trying to find buttons and whatnot. Okay, Ed, I want to thank Ed Chmielewski from Anderson Elevator, Cornelius Walls from Formula Systems North America, also Stephanie from Formula Systems North America, Stephanie Cassidy for all of them helping out, as well as Lori Do It, and Nicole Layden with the ESF for helping put this event together. I will thank the sponsors next week, and I'm looking forward to that very much. Again, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a long day for me, but it's worth it to make that happen. Hey, before I get into the content of the program, I do want to really just read a quick press release from NEI, National Elevator Industry, and I think this is really important because I want to recognize a great man who has done a lot for not only the elevator industry but for NEI. He has pretty much set the bar for as their executive director for a long time, and has really been a pleasure to work with over the years with the ESF, and just on a personal note on other projects, and just seeing him. It's been a fixture in the industry for a long time. But this is a memo that was sent out May 26, 2016. National Elevator Industry Incorporated, NEI, has appointed Karen Penafile, and I apologize if I mispronounced your name, Karen. I apologize. To serve as Executive Director effective July 1st, 2016. The NEI Executive Director ensures that the organization's long-term, long-range strategic plan remains relevant and current, evaluates opportunities for growth, and effectively communicates the goals of the association. So, Karen, I welcome you. It'll be great to work with you as well. And I just want to read this press release is online. I should have linked it up, and I'll try to do that before I get the show. This new appointment will bid farewell to longtime Executive Director Ed Donahue, who is retiring from NEI. Over the last 40 years, Ed has invaluably acted as chair of numerous industry organizations and is one of the foremost authorities on elevator codes and safety, formerly serving as NEI Codes and Safety Consultant. Ed's presence will greatly be missed within NEI. We wish to express our gratitude for faithfully helping us grow NEI into the institution that it is today, and I have to agree with that. Whenever I look at the various organizations out there, I have to say that NEI is one of those that I hold way up high in regard in terms of how it's run and what it's accomplished over the years. So, Ed, enjoy your retirement from NEI, and I do not suspect that is retirement from our industry, because you have you've got elevators in your blood, and I look forward to seeing you soon. So, okay, getting into the news content of the program, New York Post reporting a man loses arm in a freak elevator accident. Yes, an elevator technician was seriously injured, which sounds to be what is an awful accident. We hope he has a quick and speedy recovery, but this is just a reminder as to the dangerous work that elevator mechanics and technicians do each and every day. So be careful out there as you're working near and on equipment. This one, I can totally understand how this could happen. If you click on, actually, hold on, New York Post again posting that or reporting the young boy dies after falling down elevator shaft in parking garage. And before you start saying, okay, this is a horrific accident, but before you say, parents, what is wrong with you? My youngest child, when he was little and could walk, didn't walk. He ran. He ran everywhere. Literally, it was very difficult to keep tabs on him, and I suspect that this is one of those same situations where it is awful, and I'm sure the father is devastated. Apparently, he fell down a cars-only elevator shaft after his dad. Oh no, I think I lost the internet. After his dad had gone back into the elevator lift where the car was to retrieve something from the car, and it's awful. They weren't riding it, but he fell down somehow through an opening, and man, it's awful. This is not the kind of story you ever want to read about, and if steps can be taken to prevent this in the future, I guarantee they will. This is just awful. So again, one of those situations where you never ever want to read anything like this ever happening, and it's a freak accident, and I'm sure that the father is never going to be obviously the same because of it. Another article, News Asia 1 reporting that 3-year-old boy's genitals caught in escalator in Malaysia. Oh my gosh. How do you think this happened? Do you think it was, the little boy was following, just riding correctly in an escalator? No, he was sitting down on it. It doesn't look as if he even has shoes on. And again, just as a reminder that this is awful. I mean, it could have been so much worse, but literally not the kind of story you want to read about, and I'm sure that this is going to get some major traction. Parents, all around the world need to understand that the world can be a dangerous place. You need to protect your kids from whatever you possibly can. You can't keep them in a bubble, but at the same time, you got to do what you can to keep them safe. Terrible accident. Elevator World Unplugged has a funny article. Let's see here about human controllers, and this is a collection of wall humor. And there used to be a day when elevators were controlled by people, and I'm sure there was a day that they never imagined that it would be fully automatic to some extent. So pretty funny photos here, and ones that I enjoy checking out. Hopefully it'd be cool if they republish some of these if they were able to. Elevator starters. So pretty cool. Check those out. Link is in the show notes. Let's see here. Okay, in Taipei, doctor dies in elevator accident. This is a situation where it looks as if, and this is just me, not assuming, but based on what was how they found this man, he was found basically stuck or trapped in between an elevator and elevator floor, and tragic accident. Hopefully the Malaysia or wherever that's happened, they can take the proper steps to ensure that it doesn't happen again. Here's another terrible accident that occurred, again, not in the United States, thank goodness, but still, it's still a terrible accident that should never happen. Apparently a woman's leg, man, I'm telling you, anywhere else in the world other than the United States posts some of the worst images in the world. I'm like, they gray everything out, but it's like, oh my gosh, how could you show this? So I'm glad that regardless of our media here in the United States and how like superficial they are and how, diving into a story is really not part of their deal, it's still very interesting to see this kind of reporting. But apparently a 50-year-old woman was dragged all the way up to the top floor by a faulty elevator in a condominium building in Beijing. Again, China in the news again. multiple times this week regarding accidents that have occurred. And I guess if you do the math and figure out how many of their residents are riding on this kind of equipment, maybe, I don't know, maybe the number is not that bad. I don't know. I don't know how the government there figures all that out, but it's still terrible. Next news article, abcnews.go.com has an article about the elevator serving the world's tallest bridge observatory at the Penobscot River has inconvenienced more than 200 passengers on 200 separate occasions, stranding them and forcing them to trudge down 25 flights of stairs. So I don't mean to laugh, but that happens. The reality is that newer equipment in environments that are less than ideal, like outside environments, are going to have a tendency of not working as well as had they been installed in an inside elevator. So it's too bad. Toshiba elevator debuts remote monitoring in China. Probably this is a good idea for anything, but they have launched a remote monitoring service for elevators in 5 major Chinese cities in response to growing interest in elevator safety in the country. So it's kind of an interesting way of taking advantage of an opportunity, monitoring your elevators for safety. I don't imagine that's probably a good idea, but how about making sure elevators are safe to begin with when they are installed and maintained? That would be my advice. And not to say they're not, but might want to focus a little more on that to do that. Okay, Otis Elevator is keeping up by going digital, and this article reported by the Hartford Courant. Close the ad. And the world's most recognized name in elevator manufacturing is capitalizing on digital technology, in this case installing video screens that display news, weather, or company's message of the day. So to give customers something to do while standing in a box going up and down. So anyway, they also have phone apps that summon elevators remotely and keypads outside the elevator. Intuitively select floors. Destination dispatch is also in process. Farmington-based subsidiary of United Technologies is grappling with slow growth economies in Europe and China and a flat to declining market share in China. And the reality is, it's interesting to read that. China was only going to be growing so great for so long, and not to say that they're really going that slow. It's just not growing as quickly, and for obvious reasons. But anyway, still, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, 9-year-old okay after getting foot in an escalator. This happened in, let's see here, where did this happen? Oklahoma City. I'll let everybody watch the video because I'm just going to slam in a pre-roll ad. But yeah, the little boy's foot was, it looks as if based on the photographs on the side of the escalator it was actually pulled in. And again, hey, if your foot is being pulled into the side of an escalator, it means your foot is too close to the side. And you got to keep your feet away from the sides and ride this equipment safely. So authorities do say that the soft-soled shoe that was the cause of the accident actually helped because it stopped the escalator from moving, which it's supposed to do with side switches and whatnot. So so I'm glad he's okay. He's going to be okay. I guarantee some lawyer or many lawyers have already contacted the dad for a wonderful, long-lasting lawsuit, or maybe even the guy that handles all that. Okay, New York City Housing Authority Safety Campaign focuses on elevator dangers. I'm going to play this real quick. Or actually, let's see if we get this little pre-rolled ad.
As the city's housing authority revamps its elevators, the agency is taking new measures to keep tenants informed. NYCHA is launching these ads as part of a new safety campaign. They're designed to make residents aware of the most dangerous conditions involving elevators. Okay,
let me just...
The campaign includes posters...
Oh, all right, let me go back. Okay, so this is... If you're watching the video, and for those of you listening to the program here, they have a poster that says... Okay, I cringe when I see some of this stuff because it should never happen to begin with. And if the NYCHA has an issue with, elevators not being there when the doors open, I mean, this is the kind of thing, this is the kind of poster that should probably be posted in in another country. I mean, reality, okay? So this is a poster. It says, don't get in an elevator if the door opens and you see no elevator, elevator moving, elevator not level with floor, lights out. Really? This is the safety message. Okay, so make sure you don't fall down the elevator shaft. There's so much. How in the hell could they miss? Could they have missed like all the obvious stuff? Are these the four like major problems? Like, or two, three, I guess, because I think lights out may indicate the elevator's not at the floor. Holy crap! I mean, I'm just flabbergasted that that is actually the the effort and the message they want to say. I think somebody should have. I mean, it's good advice. Don't get me wrong, but there's some other safety. Go over to esf.org. Might want to check out some of the other messages that are out there. Man, there are no elevator dangers like this as long as the equipment is installed and maintained correctly. And you shouldn't have to worry about whether or not the elevator is going to be there if the doors aren't open. So, man, I envision this probably being halted pretty soon or pretty quickly because this is frightening as crap. I mean, this is just frightening. Okay, Rivergate Shopping Center launches escalator safety campaign months after 3-year-old was seriously injured. This is actually across the pond, I believe in the UK. I could be wrong on that, but anyway, it basically looks as if I think the safety campaign involves a big yellow sticker, vinyl applique at the bottom of an escalator that actually shares with you and on, how to ride it. I don't know who in the world has time to actually look at this, before they get on a lift. It perhaps would make better sense to have something before you get on or off so that, you know what you're doing. And I think there are ways of doing that better than sticking a vinyl applique on there. It may or may not be able to be read. But anyway, I guess I give him I give him a C for give him a B for effort. How about that? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, man nearly escapes death after another China escalator accident. This is a technician working actually on an escalator. Again, look at the image of this thing, this article. It's a photograph, basically, of a technician stuck inside an escalator. It looks like his feet are actually caught in the stair tread. And then you got some dude up on top taking photos of it. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's seriously injured. Remind me not to go to China. And anybody listening from China, your stuff is, okay, I'm not gonna generally speak that there's some, issues with everything, but man, terrifying. And you gotta think, if they've got issues with this kind of equipment, there's issues with a lot of other stuff. Like how they build buildings and all that good stuff. Scary. Okay, visitor at hospital dies after a fall. It appears that a woman visiting Walsall's Manor Hospital died after falling down an escalator. She died of head injuries or issues relating to head injuries. And this is one of those situations where you wonder if this actually occurred, if there was a heart attack before she fell or whatever happened. But just be careful, the older population or elderly population really, should think twice about riding escalators because they, they can cause a little, anybody who's not quite balanced well could have issues with that. So anyway, okay, disabled vet needs home elevator repaired. I am all for helping vets out, and but if you listen to this story, huge vet supporter, just so you know. If I could go fix this guy's elevator, I would. But if you listen to the news story, I'm not going to play it on the program, but it's kind of ridiculous. They're like mad because they have a home elevator installed, and they're like, well, if you couldn't come out and repair it, then why'd you put it? You shouldn't have put it in the first place. And I'm like, I don't know if that's really quite the logic you want to use here, but yeah, it's unfortunate. This thing looks unsafe. And I think maybe part of the problem is that you've got some canopy thing built around the elevator. Then it doesn't look really safe, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if any elevator company would want to put their 2 cents on that, or put their name in fixing or whatever. So, because it doesn't look like it passed any kind of inspection. It's got a temporary hoist away. I don't think there's any door locks, and I'm not sure what stops that thing from going up and down when that door is open. Whoa. Anyway, so if you're interested in helping out this gentleman, feel free to contact the news story to do that. At KCBC News, British Columbia reporting the elevator broken in downtown Eastside's West Hotel again. Tenants launched a lawsuit against their landlord last year after elevator was out for 108 days. Wow! Again, probably a good chance that maybe landlord didn't pay his bill, but still unfortunate. Had a situation locally here in Chicago where got a call from somebody and elevator was out for 2 days over the Memorial Day weekend. The reality is that it's hard to get parts sometimes for elevators that are 50, 60 years. And when I talked to the board president, he didn't quite understand this and said, well, I should be able to get a part anywhere for this. I'm like, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And so, I had to let him know that, your best course of action is to really listen to the elevator company to figure out a plan so that should this happen again, you're up and running quicker than normal. And the other lesson is hey, if you need a wheelchair or are handicap accessible, do not move into a building that has one elevator. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. That's my advice to you. I'm not doing it either. So, Elevator U Conference is fast approaching. Man, it's like 1.5 weeks, is it? Man, looking forward to it. It's going to be a great party. It's going to be a great conference in Quincy, Illinois. If you're interested in attending, please, register now. All of the exhibitor booths have been sold out. Conference is full, and it's going to be an excellent opportunity to learn and network. So make sure if you can get over to that, to do that, and you'll enjoy it. Last news article of the program, I see this elevator being replaced. Bill Snyder is quoted or appears on a Washington news story from Quality Elevator, WJLA, Washington, D.C. I didn't realize that the elevator that was installed in the Washington Monument is 15 years old. It looks kind of cool. And
This may bother you.
Oh, yeah, it does bother me when you pop into my email thing or web browser. But I was surprised that 15 years doesn't seem like it's a long time, but I wonder really what the other issues are with, it just seems like there should be something that can be done to make the elevator more reliable. But with the numbers that are noted in the actual, story here, I can understand why it is, I can understand that it's under a pretty significant demand load and perhaps, but I don't know. It just seems like there's whatever it is, they should be able to, make it a little more bomb-proof. But maybe that's just not possible. I don't know. And they don't really get into that, unfortunately. Like what the shutdowns are caused by. That's what I'd like to understand. So anyway, and that link is in the show notes. So I see Bill on the news. Well, that's going to do it, everybody, for today's show. I thank you personally for joining the show today. If you'd like to comment, please go over to Facebook, like the page, comment, do all your good stuff over there, or comment. I think we have comments open on the website, on the news reports, or the show notes. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, looking forward to seeing many of you tonight and for a great dinner, some great networking opportunities, and that's about it. So I will have a show next Wednesday. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go out of town Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and return Tuesday. So if I'm not too tired, we should be fine Wednesday morning. Other than that, it might not be the week after that. I don't know. We'll figure it all out as we go. So have a great week, everybody. Be safe, and we'll talk to you hopefully next Wednesday. Bye-bye.